NTA International News.
National Council of State ratifies appointment of Ibrahim Idris as Inspector General of Police, confirms 6 national commissioners for INEC. Nigeria Police Force and Department of State Services appealed to INEC to postpone Edo State governorship election based on security threats. National Council on Lands, Housing and Urban Development advocates return of states, local governments and corporate bodies to National Housing Fund scheme. Plus, Zimbabwe's High Court declares government ban on public demonstration as violation to rights of expression. Hello there, a warm welcome to NTA International News at this time. I am Oku Ekpeyong. The National Council of State has approved the appointment of 6 national commissioners for the Independent National Electoral Commission, vacancies in the nation's electoral body. Also approved of 5 national commissioners for the National Population Commission. The council took the decision after its meeting presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the appointment of Ibrahim Idris as Inspector General of Police was also ratified by the National Police Council. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Yakubu Mahmood, has assured the electorate in Edo State of the Commission's
other security agencies, including the military, are mobilized fully.
Other speakers described the meeting as a step in the right direction. The expanded stakeholders meeting by INEC is to clear grey areas and engender a peaceful conduct of the September 10 governorship election in Edo State. In Benin, Steve Lona and Waukolo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Director General of the NYSC, Brigadier General Sule Kazauri, has promised corps members participating in the September 10 governorship general election in Edo State of adequate security. Brigadier General Kazauri, who gave the assurance at a meeting with corps members in Benin City, warned them against compromise. Udragabong Achibong has the details.
This is the first time the Director General of the National Youth Service Corps is visiting the state since its assumption of office this year. The visit is therefore to assure corps members that adequate measures are being put in place to ensure their welfare and security during the election, and that none of them will be posted to areas identified as flashpoints. However, Brigadier General Kalzare wants the corps members to abide by the rules, avoid any form of inducement, and contribute their quota towards deepening democracy in the country.
Don't allow the politicians to use you. Shun any form of material or financial inducement from anybody.
We have adequate liaised with the security agencies in the state by giving them the list and addresses of call lodges in the state.
Copies of a drama sketch on saying no to electoral violence by the corps members were presented.
In regard of this, that we are appealing to INEC, which has a legal duty, I want to emphasize that, to regulate elections in the country, to consider the need for possible postponement of the date of the election in Edo State in order to enable security agencies deal decisively with the envisaged terrorist threats. While the police, the DSS, remain mindful of the inconveniences this request may cause the various political stakeholders, it is our strong resolve that security agencies need not to be distracted from ensuring a peaceful and secure Nigeria now and always.
Now, you must have heard that there were sounds of gunshots at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in the early hours of Tuesday. However, defense correspondent Isaac Nkuma reports that there was no cause for alarm, as it was only a simulation exercise by the Nigerian Air Force on counter-terrorism tactics.
Special Forces Commandos of the Nigerian Air Force Quick Response Force, QRF, advanced in a troubled vicinity Location is the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, and the mission is to retake the airport from a group of terrorists, rescue hostages, and ensure normalcy of operations at the airport. What you just saw is a display of the quick response force of the Nigerian Air Force, showcasing its capability to handle cases of terrorism when it comes to securing the nation's airports. The simulation exercise, codenamed Steel Dome, which means fortified arena, the Chief of Air Staff says, will be conducted across major airports in the country to test the Nigerian Air Force Quick Response Force skills in planning, coordination, and execution of counter-terrorism operations in a built environment.
You can have all the training, you can have all the skills, unless you are.
Primary Healthcare Development Agency among stakeholders in the benefiting councils witnessed a large turnout of people who were diagnosed with health ailments such as malaria, diarrhea, and few cases of malnutrition. Representatives of the various agencies and the council chairman in Kaga urged the people to come out en masse to benefit from the free medical outreach, which will last 5 days.
They appreciated it. These organizations did to Kaga local governments best of its kind.
Some of the beneficiaries who were administered drugs and injections thanked the UNFPA and Borno State government for the exercise. The medical outreach featured distribution of insecticide-treated nets, delivery and dignity kits, among others. The two locations visited are the boarding primary school IDP's camp in Gunduga and the maternal and child health clinic at Benishek, headquarters of Kaga local government area in Maiduguri. Lami Ali, NTA News.
The Pakistan government says it will continue to offer training and other technical assistance to Nigeria in its counter-insurgency campaign. The country's High Commissioner to Nigeria, Lieutenant General Aga Umar Farouk, stated this at this year's Defense Day of Pakistan, held in Abuja. Chukwunonso Mwabweze reports.
Nigeria and Pakistan enjoy a very cordial military relations since the establishment of diplomatic ties in 1960. The need, therefore, to strengthen this mutual relationship tops the priority list as guests, members of the diplomatic corps, as well as defense attaches, converged on Abuja to mark the 2016 Defense Day of Pakistan.
We have teams here coming.
Housing and urban development is the return of states, local government and corporate bodies to the National Housing Fund scheme. Mohammed Hamza Sheikh takes a look at why the measure is necessary.
For over 3 decades, Nigerian workers have been contributing 2.5% of their monthly income to the National Housing Fund with the anticipation of owning a home of their own after retirement from public service. To date, however, less than 30% of Nigerian workers have so far benefited from the mortgages of the scheme. The main reasons advanced for this include too meager contribution from workers, non-compliance by banks, insurance companies and defaulting states, as well as the non-recapitalization of the Federal Mortgage Bank. It is for this reason perhaps that the just concluded 5th meeting of the National Council on Lands, Housing and Urban Development approved the adoption of the recapitalization of Federal Mortgage Bank from its present base of 2.5 billion naira to 500 billion naira.
Federal government and other stakeholders should recapitalize the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria from its present capital base of 2.5 billion to 500 billion.
Minister of Power, Works and Housing Babatunde Fashola says the Federal Mortgage Bank, under the leadership of Richard Essing as its acting managing director, is repositioned to face upcoming challenges.
Other issues such as financing and mortgages are not relevant yet for our discussion today. They are relevant in delivering the housing industry, and that is why you will see the acting MD of the Federal Mortgage Bank, who I must say that for the first time since 2011, under his stewardship, the Federal Mortgage Bank has recorded its first surplus half year in the last 6 years. and this is coming from an annual half-year loss position since 2011.
In the last few months, the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria has witnessed positive changes not only in structure but also the execution of programs, particularly with the introduction of its journey of self-reinvention hinged on 4 pillars: corporate governance compliance, bank profitability, operational effectiveness, and debt recovery. Muhammad Hamza Sheikh, NTA News.
Now, this is the news on NTA International, reaching you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. There will be more news after the break. Stay with us.
We formed the APC from day one with the intention of changing the direction of Nigeria. We believe Nigeria is an African power and can be a major powerhouse in world affairs. But to do that, we need to change our direction.
It can be done. This country cannot be written off. It can be done. And this country will still lead Africa. We're making steps, slow steps, moving on. I mean, it took the Americans 200 plus years to get where they are. We're moving.
More news on NTA International. The federal government has declared Monday 12th and Tuesday 13th this September 2016 as public holidays to commemorate Eid al-Kabir celebration. A statement from the Ministry of Interior enjoins all Muslim faithful and Nigerians at large to support President Muhammadu Buhari in his sustained efforts to diversify the economy and progressively accelerate the pace of economic recovery. It further stated that the federal government is aware of the present economic challenges, adding that appropriate measures are being taken to address the situation. It therefore urges all and sundry to continue to support the government towards building a new formidable.
In Asia, main Asia Pacific Stock Index, excluding Japan, increased by 0.2%. That's it on business news. I am Muplang Dakok.
The federal government has distanced itself from the purported importation of poisonous rice, as well as flooding the country with genetically modified rice. In a statement by the special advisor to the president, Femi Adesina, describes the allegation as extremely uncharitable. The statement says, though it has a memorandum of understanding with Dangote Group on rice cultivation in 2014, the development has generated over 10,000 direct and indirect jobs in Jigawa State. The inclusion of civil society organizations to monitor the social intervention program is to a greater extent a display of transparency and commitment to better the lives of Nigerians. Adebola Brooksland Sunday reports that this was the submission of participants at a one-day forum on implementation of government social intervention program.
Nigeria and development partners have over the years made concerted moves to develop a social protection instrument to tackle the rate of poverty and vulnerability in the country.
All pupils enrolled in primary schools.
Special advisor to the president on social investments, Mariam Uwe, says, unlike other developmental projects of the past, the social investment program will get to the target citizens.
The program is aimed at providing targeted transfers to the poorest and most vulnerable households, ensuring that the beneficiary households graduate from poverty.
The National Assembly graciously approved the entire money requested by the executive arm of government, because we know this is a very key and gigantic program that would touch the lives of the poor Nigerians.
You must choose the right kind of beneficiaries in a way that is not colored by political or other considerations.
We as citizens and civil society actors rise up to play our part
in terms of demanding accountability, in terms of supporting the implementers of that program to make sure it succeeds.
A program that both seeks.
On May 29, 2016, President Muhammadu Buhari formally launched a 500 billion naira social protection fund to cater for the less privileged in the country. Adebola, Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
Uchenwizu reports on stories trending around the globe.
Zimbabwe's High Court has declared that the government ban on public demonstration was unprocedural and a violation of applicants' rights to expression, saying it will suspend it for a week. The police in the Southern African nation last Thursday issued an official notice prohibiting all demonstrations in the capital, Harare.